Hello, tacticians! I finished all the Imperial Quest core heroes like I set out to do, so KobyKobyThai's request came at the perfect time to help me decide whom to do next. And looking through the missions, I can see why he is asking for assistance, because this one is gonna be nasty. Ladies and gentle tacticians, welcome to the Mythic Prime's Mythic Journey. Mission 1. Defeat 4 enemies that have the suppressed effect with Winged Prime in one battle. The easiest way to complete this mission would be an LRE stage enterable by Xenos and Imperials, where you can use a suppressive fire hero such as Burchard, Thaddeus or Darkstrider, and Isabella or another convenient healer. The most desperate way for when everything else fails, your Crayon Eater is too big and one-shots everything, or if you don't have him at all, would in theory be in Onslaught, using alternative Xeno sources of suppression, such as the Neurothrope, the Tyrant Guard, and the Tank Smasher. And ideally bringing An Shi to recharge one of those abilities so that you don't have to rely on the knockback suppression abilities to line the enemies up for a battle fatigue multi-kill on the nades. Luckily for me, and my ability to produce a practical, my Darkstrider is only Bronze 1 and my Winged Prime is Gold 1, which makes this mission somewhat easily, if inefficiently, completable in a lower tier onslaught where I could tuck Darkstrider into the relative safety of the second line behind the Winged Prime and have him suppress whatever comes into melee for the Winged Prime to slap dead.
The first Mythic Journey mission for the Winged Prime supposedly requires it to defeat 4 suppressed enemies in one battle, and I think that's going to be the easiest to do in an onslaught, and due to the levels of my heroes that I'm going to use, I will go for the epic difficulty only. As an added benefit, there shouldn't be any barb guns in this level, so that will make keeping everyone alive that much easier. Okay, so for the actual fight, since Winged Prime needs to be killing stuff that's suppressed, I'm gonna bring in Darkstrider, whom I have at Bronze 1. This is a double-edged sword. With him being so small, he shouldn't be killing stuff, but he will be very squishy. Other than that, to keep everyone alive, I'm bringing Holland, and to actually tank and survive the fight, I'm bringing Rivas and Aleph. So now, with this map being very corner campable, I'm just gonna sit here and let the enemies come to me. And there, I'm sure something will get in melee eventually. Probably could be killing the spores with Sonji, and actually that sounds like a great idea now that I think about it. There. Yeah, I probably should have pre-healed the Winged Prime so that its health would be higher. But I'm kinda going on autopilot here, so... So, first target, suppressed, killed. That's one. Next, exploded the spores, and that kinda failed. Now I'm gonna have to hope that the Prime will survive the spore explosion, because otherwise I will get Darkstrider killed, which isn't great. Ah, never mind, the spores have been cock-blocked, good. Okay, so again, heal Prime, shoot something with Darkstrider, so that Winged Prime has a suppressed target, and that's skill number 2. Going good so far, gonna infect another spore with Sudden War Machine Death. Okay, it's kill number 3. And let's eat that spore. And heal Winged Prime. And that is suppressed kill number 4, and with that the mission should be done. So I can now clear the stage and forget that this terrible thing ever happened. There. Well, good thing that it only took Snowprint about 3 years to implement an actual Xenos healer in the form of Holland, because without him this mission would be an even greater pain in the ass. And done. Moving on.
Mission 2. Deal 7000 damage with the Winged Prime in one turn. While you probably can complete this mission in a guild raid, I would recommend hitting the arena instead, because the buffers you'd want to use for it are pretty much the same. Ragnar potentially with Anshi, Dante and maybe Eldrion, and pretty much face rape everything in the arena on most maps.
The second Winged Prime's Mythic Journey mission should be for it to deal 7000 damage in one turn, which should be rather easy to do in an arena with Ragnar and Dante. I just need to keep it alive, because, well, mine is at gold 1, 5, but other than that, everything should be okay, really. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at this. Now, I need to keep in mind that some of these enemies have various mitigation traits, such as terrifying or martial kata, so I need to choose my targets accordingly. And I think Karn is the best option here. There. Now I'm gonna drop Dante here and might as well blop Karian. Okay, and looks like I would have needed a little more oomph, so probably another stack of Ragnar Sif or maybe Eldrion. But maybe with a crit big enough, around 6000. Okay, so I would have needed one more buffer for this. And you know what? I'm gonna consider it not a problem. Although now that the Karn is alive, that is a bit of a problem. That summon isn't really helping me right now. So I'm gonna make sure Dante dies. There, something's gonna happen. Okay, that happened. And now I think I can just take advantage of Karn being Karn, right? There. Boom. Okay, now he will kill the spore for me and get stuck in fire. Oh boy, somebody here went full on investing in the biowar. There. There. Oh, come on. And that should be the arena then. Okay, so yeah, I didn't quite deal enough damage with the Winged Prime in this one. Hey, it's gold 1, and yeah, so I could have brought Eldrion for 6000 damage more, or Anshi for a double stacked Ragnariev. That would have solved the problem, but this roughly is how to go about this mission, and I am moving on.
Mission 3. Summon 100 units with the Winged Prime. Whoever decided to put a grinding mission like this in a mythic journey of a character that only has a campaign event, Genestealers vs Tau, and not a regular campaign, is a cunt. As it is, unless you actually want to play the Tau campaign event and don't mind waiting for it, your best choices would be the Onslaught or the Arena, and using other Synapse characters, including the Summoned Warrior, to trigger Winged Prime's passive as much as you can. Since I don't think anybody would struggle with the how-to of this mission, and neither want to use more Onslaught tickets on Xenos right now, nor to lose more arenas this week, I'm gonna skip the practical. Mission 4. Score 12 hits with the Winged Prime in one turn. Probably the trickiest mission of the journey. The obvious way would be to wait for the power-ups TA and have the Winged Prime pick up the melee hits up, then give it 2 more hits with Thoriad, Vitruvius or Galgords, but the TA isn't always available and the matchmaker and or your opponents may decide to fuck with you, as they are wont to. As such, you may instead want to complete this mission in what I think is Snowprint's intended way, by triggering the Winged Prime's final vengeance, and I see 3 options of doing that. The most desperate option would be in the enemy's turn, by getting your Winged Prime killed twice, by having Incisors revive it the first time. At least I think the final vengeance triggers on both the deaths then. The slightly less desperate but still kinda shit option would be in your turn, by moving your Winged Prime someplace adjacent to 2 enemies, one of which needs to have final vengeance of their own and to be able to kill your Winged Prime with it. Karn should work. Simply attack with the Winged Prime, then get Karn killed to make him kill your Winged Prime, who will then final vengeance against the other target, and you're done. The most reliable way would be in your own turn again, using Friendly Fire. Check your Vindicta's passive, and Morven's, Katskodens, and Vitruvius's actives, and see if any of those abilities are able to reliably get your Winged Prime killed under some circumstances which you can produce in the arena. And it turned out that my Vindicta could do just that.
The 4th mission for Winged Prime is supposedly for it to score 12 hits, and I'm gonna try to achieve that by triggering Winged Prime's final vengeance during my own turn. So I did some maths, and for that I need to roast it with a stationary Thaddeus buffed Vindicta, or if I can't get her stationary, I need to put her on high ground. Now I think that could be possible on this map, but I have already lost a game to trying to complete this mission as a theoretical, which is extra sad. So, no, this may leave me very frustrated. Okay, I think this is a safe positioning. Oh, lovely. That spore isn't really in the way. So now I can put Vindicta here. Next, I'm gonna attack with the Winged Prime. And I think I'm gonna kill the spore and spawn. Right, Winged Prime only spawns shit when he doesn't kill. Good, doesn't matter. Next, Vindicta on high ground with her passive splash should reliably kill my Winged Prime, and that scored the necessary hits. Then I can deal some extra damage here. And here. Hopefully that will... Never mind. Finish Ragnar off. Good. And now I'm gonna rely on Rivas to kill everything. There, that worked. Lovely. And now I just need to kill Karian, which between the remaining heroes I think is possible. So yeah, this is one of the possible ways of completing the Winged Prime's 4th Mythic Journey mission. Moving on.
Mission 5. Deal 100,000 damage with the Winged Prime. Another lovely grind mission without an always available campaign to grind it out in. Your best bet probably is to run a few onslaughts at the highest tier in which you can kill everything with the Winged Prime and keep it alive with Holland, or to use it as the carry in more basic rapid assault bitch arena matches. If you want demonstrations of that, check out the practicals for Mission 1 and Mission 2. I think they pretty much cover this one as well. And that's how I may go about completing the Winged Prime's Mythic Journey myself, at some indeterminate point in the distant future. While the Winged Prime is now supposedly useful in a Neurothrope/Demon Spam raid team by letting all the summons benefit from the Norn Crown, that's kinda low priority for me, at least compared to the Labu bitches. Still, if you're in the market for some Prime Wings, then more power to you, and I hope this video helped or at least entertained you, especially if you're Koby. And with that you've made it to its end. Thank you for watching and I'll be back soon, probably with the Reanimator incursion. Kaurin, out.